Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NetSuite, your finance solution problems answer demonstration. My name is Chris. I'm a NetSuite consultant at Nolan, and I have a pleasure today to chair this presentation. Apart from being a NetSuite ERP consultant, I'm also a qualified accountant with years of experience in various financial functions, ranging from accounting, preparing financial statements, auditing them, and overseeing whole financial function. During the presentation, I will use my experience to give you a practical context of the step we will go through and share solutions to common financial problems as well. Okay, the session today is aimed for finance professionals running NetSuite for their daily tasks. The reason for a session is to increase your understanding about financial processes in NetSuite, system financial setup, and various practical solutions you can use to improve and streamline your workload. First, I will run quickly through corporate overview in NetSuite, very quickly, just a little bit about the system and its history. Then we will jump straight away to system demonstration. We will go through role-based dashboards and the benefits of real-time reporting. We will discuss financial reporting and underlying system setup. We will also go to customize some reports and discussing some additional reporting requirements. We will speak about the system control and using various audit features, and also we will discuss the year-end closure procedures, and at the end I will mention various other automations that can be used within the software. We will finish with closing remarks and some questions. You will also have the opportunity to send the questions later to Nolan's email address, which we'll answer. Okay, so first maybe a couple of words about the NetSuite. They are world number one cloud ERP vendor. They were founded in 1998 with the sole purpose of delivering a business system that is accessible anywhere in the cloud on the internet. Right now they employ over 3,000 people, and their solution is employed by over 30,000 organizations. What you can see just as a selection of the customers on the right hand side, they've got very diverse customer base. What this means, they're a very adaptable system. They can be used by all organizations regardless of its size, industry, or other characteristics. The data above are also supposed to show that NetSuite is growing significantly, investing a lot in its features. And the system is very appealing to its customers as well. For me, three biggest advantages of the system is accessibility, rich ERP and CRM features, as well as flexibility. Okay, now we will be going straight away to the demonstration. Please give me a sec only. I will open NetSuite for you. Here we have a system. I'm running it using the Chrome browser, but you can run it as well any other browser as well. It will work for you. We are running to a fictional company, GLSMB. We see it on the right top corner as a fictional employee Wolf, and we're using administrator role. As you expand the list here, we see that within the system we have customized a lot of roles. All is specific to the function performed by the user. First, a couple of words maybe about the customization of the dashboard. So this is the central screen here. We can use it for a lot of purposes, and it's a very flexible tool. Basically, if we click on personalize here, we can very easily drag and drop various portraits. So this is small items here on the dashboard. We can add some report snapshots as well without any problems. We can decide what kind of information we would like to display here. For example, here we would like to display the comparative sales. So compare this period this year with the last period this year. This green one represents this year, so we're seeing we are doing significantly better as in the previous year. If we don't need this information, we can simply minimize it to give a little bit more place to other elements. Or if we don't need it at all, we can remove it as well with one simple click here. As you see here, it's very easy. It's very customizable. What this means for finance professionals, we all know that currently we don't need only accurate data, but we also need real data you can use within your business, what we have here. The demand is also not to waste time on preparing those data for analysis, but rather spend time on analyzing them and delivering the value for the business. I'm sure that you all spend limitless hours copying the data between Excel spreadsheets, manipulating data using VLOOKUPs, pivot tables, and many other functions in order to build the required data set, ready to be used or presented. The whole reason behind this cloud-based system as NetSuite is to avoid the unnecessary steps and start the work already with the data set prepared for you without any additional labor input required. Now I would like to show you some additional roles in here for the financial controller. You will see that all the centers as well as dashboard will change now, and it will be specific to this particular role. Okay? You see that here in the screen we see the KPIs. For this role we have some global financial ratios which will help us to evaluate the financial performance and position of the company as well. Whatever here, all the information here are up to date. Those KPIs here in the front of the screen, they are not 24 hours later KPIs used after delivering the data from your disconnected BI tool or other reporting tools. But this is everything real data, including the last minute invoices posted here as well. For example, also as many other systems, the data are not aggregated using various Excel spreadsheets which you need to go through in order to receive any details. Everything is perfectly viewable here. So for example, if we would like to see what kind of information are behind this 5.1 million of current sales, we simply click at these numbers here. And now this number here is basically split by all the customers. So we have the information here, this 5.1 million, split by all the revenues we receive from the customers. Whatever, we can drill this information even further. For example, if we would like to see what is behind this iron about revenues, we simply click at the number here and we see which cash sales, invoices, whatever transactions are building this number with the dates. The information is not stopping here. We can drill even to the particular transactions. So now, and using the transaction here, we can print the transaction again, we can send the transaction over the email and collaborate it with others. Very good function in NetSuite. We can review the GL impact of the transaction here. And basically, it will show us all the debits and credits used to post this transaction. We can go all the time, we can go here and review how the transactions are posted within the general ledger. It's very useful, especially if you are going through the period of changes and we are changing the processes to review the posting lines. It will also give us a little bit time during the year-end closure later. We can go back to the main dashboard here. So basically, what you see here is a perfect traceability of information from the KPI here we started to the general impact we showed before and everything in between. You also notice here, in most of the transactions you have this customize button here. If you have the right authority and access level, you are able to customize all your reports and forms in a way that's more beneficial for you as well. If you come quickly back to the controller dashboard, the dashboard here, as I mentioned before, is not only to display the information and the data, but also to organize your workload. For example, using the reminders here on the left, you see already without reading your emails or going through some documents, what actions are outstanding from your role. You have 22 invoices overdue. You have 30 bills to pay. Everything is here. You can also click, review it quickly, and deal with those matters here simply. You can also use the dashboard for a complex financial analysis without exporting the data to Excel, manipulating the data, and then having the input. For example, we see here these KPI meters. The profit this period we see is much higher, 2.8 million, than anticipated, 2.1 million. But if we drill into the details, we see then this profit basically is based on the 50% increase of the sales, but at the same time the expenses increased by over 90%. As we are a new business in this instance, we would like to have more control over the cost. We would like to know a little bit more why the expenses increased so much. Basically, you can use the search here, the system here, to create a query and to split the current period expenses together with the last period expenses, and to have a high visibility of what changed. We almost immediately see that basically the cost of goods sold increased by 97% between those two periods. by 97% when the sales only increased by 50%. We would like to address this issue. We can do it as well straight away from the dashboard. We can organize a meeting here with the appropriate person. You can do it, so we can change from the attendees here. For example, we would like to add a vote to discussion. We can also check the availability of the person, and starting from this, we can as well send the emails. We can assign the meetings, rooms, everything. We will come back to the dashboard for a while. Okay, so it's a very good tool for finance professionals. You can use the dashboard very easily to reduce your daily workload here. Okay, now I will go back to the administrator role, and we'll continue with the role until the end of the presentation to avoid some access problems. Okay, good. I'm pretty sure that you all know the historic difference between financial and managerial reporting. But for the sake of this presentation, I will try to clarify a couple of points from NetSuite perspective, as will become a lot of questions in this respect. Basically, NetSuite supports both financial and managerial reporting. Financial reporting is also called statutory reporting, and is basically a mandatory submission of financial and non-financial information to a government agency, as Company House in UK, for example. Financial reporting is usually based on financial accounts and the reporting chart of account setup, and legal entities. In NetSuite, there will be subsidiaries. Managerial reporting, by definition, is used for internal reporting and make informative decisions by the executives. Although now it's partially regulated by introducing IFRS 8 operating segments. Nevertheless, from system perspective, we can discuss here additional reporting dimensions as departments, classes, locations, and other fields. Let's discuss the details between them during the practical demonstration. Let's concentrate first on accounts in NetSuite. You can open them from the list, for example, accounting and accounts. On your screen here, you have standard NetSuite reporting chart of accounts. You have information here as account numbers, this column here, you have account name, you have a type, you have the currency of the account, as well as the balance. The balance here looks a little bit similar to your trial balance in this situation, but we will discuss the differences a little bit later. To avoid confusion in future, you need to understand that this is the ERP system reporting chart of account, and as such, it may work a little bit different than you are used to. First, not all transactions, although recorded within system on accounts, are posted to general ledger. They are represented here on the screen as non-posting transactions. For example, as you have the opportunities, estimate sales orders, work orders as well. Basically, what they are accounts records which are used for statistical and comparison reasons, and will never build financial statements, although they may be used for disclosures as sum of balance sheet transactions. Good examples here are the sales orders you see here, which sales orders in principle represent a legal obligation to deliver the goods to customer, but usually do not represent a posting transaction, which happens later when the invoice is created and posted. We can, however, review all sales orders sent to the customers. If we click, for example, on the sales order, we open account register here, and we can use this information in various ways. For example, to reduce the outstanding credit limit. First, let me show you how the credit limit is set up under the customer record. So if we will open the customer, let's say we'll open here AB supplies customer, which we used previously. We can use to open a record also a global search here, and to indicate that we are looking for a customer search. Okay, here we have a customer AB supplies. Here under financial tab, we have credit limit of 30,000, which means that after us performing the due diligence processes for this customer, we come to the conclusion that we shouldn't create for him more than 30,000 open invoices, because he may not be able to repay it later. For S here, this is only for the invoices. But as the sales orders represent a legal obligation to deliver the goods, sometimes we may want to include them in this limit as well. We don't have only the posted invoices here, but also the sales orders we oblige to do it. If you would like to set up within the system, we basically go to the setup, to the accounting preferences, and now under the account receivable, we have a box here, customer credit limit includes orders. This basically means within the credit limits, we would like also to include the sales orders we posted for our customers, not only the invoices. We don't want to use it in this respect, so we'll take this off. This is one of the ways we can use off-balance sheet information also for our reporting and controlling of our transactions. Okay. Coming back to the chart of accounts, one more thing about the ERP set of accounts. Basically, ERP system is streamlining a lot of activities. And some accounts here on the list represent system-generated accounts. Those are created while we enable various system functions. For example, if your business is expanding and you cannot rely only on the cash sales and payments in the time of delivery, so practically you would like to offer your customer paying later, so creating the invoices, you would like to enable the accounts receivable set up within the system, which may streamline your debt collection processes as well as record your receivables per each customer. Switching these options and accounts will enable you as well later to review your account receivables aging report, as well as plan your automated debt collection emails. Within ERP system, you may have many account-generated accounts. For example, here on the list here, we can have, let's say, traditional accounting control accounts. As mentioned previously, here accounts receivable, we can have accounts payable, we can have a payroll, we can have tax control accounts, as well as we can have ERP-specific transactions or process. As discussed previously, sales orders, purchase orders, other non-posting transactions. When we enable the function within the system, also the system-generated account will be created in a chart of account list. What is the consequence? We cannot delete the account later as well. How we are doing this? For example, if you are going to our setup, one comment maybe here. As financial users, you may not all have access to the function we'll discuss here. But I think it's very beneficial you will understand the consequences of enabling or explaining some of the functions. So basically you will be able to understand when the administrator will enable some function, what will be the consequence of your set of accounts, using as well for the financial reporting. So you can also, using some of the options, you can also ask your administrator to enable something if you think it will benefit for your business. Okay, so basically you're going to company, enable features. We will leave the screen here. Under the accounting setup, you have account receivable setup. Enabling this option will basically create automatically the accounts receivable account in your set of accounts. But now the question, you can have more than one account receivables account if you set up this business like this. So how the system will figure out which account to use? It's also under the setup, under the accounting, but this time accounting preferences, items and transaction. Here you have the default accounts used by the systems, and here you have our default receivables account, set up to 1100 accounts receivable, which account will be used to audit the receivables automatically within the system. Okay? As we will review quickly the reporting chart of account on our screen, we see here as well that NetSuite also enables the hierarchy here. For example, for sales, we can report accounts under the accounts to also as well to enable additional functions for reporting and to boost our business even further. Let's consider here, because here on the screen you have the type of the accounts. Those types enable you to create automatically financial statements. So in the past, this was a manual task, whether you printed your try balance and then to try to put the proper balances in the proper financial statement. Now it's done done automatically for you within the system. At the same time you do the posting, the financial report, balance sheet, or profit and loss is updated. There is no further action required. It's quite easy. Let's consider one more thing. As we have here, for example, the sales here, after clicking on the account register will open as we used previously. Then it will present all the financial transactions under this account. You can also filter here using the dates, whatever. Let's consider here the difference, because it's not the same as your try balance, and the balance at the end may not be the same as your try balance, especially for balance sheet transactions, because here you have the data filter set up for the dates. But nevertheless, as we see a little bit later, let's open the try balance maybe, it will be more clear. Financial try balance. For the try balance transaction, the information is filtered by accounting period. Everything is fine if all the transactions, for example for December, are accounted in the accounting period of December. It's not necessarily true. The system enables you for various reasons to pause the transaction, for example, on the 13th of December, but within the January accounting period. And then the difference between the account register, having the calendar date filter here, as well as TB, will be more apparent. The difference will be most apparent to other accounts. You can also steer how you would like to display your reports. I will show you one option here during the Home, Set Preferences, and Analytics. Here you can basically define whether you would like to display the accounting period for all reports, for financials only, or for never. What is the consequence here? If we display the accounting period for financials only, so the basic financial reports as balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, try balance, etc., we have the accounting period, and it will be a little bit easier to close the accounting periods using this feature. If we are using this for all reports, it will mean, for example, that also the inventory report will be used creating the accounting periods. So let's switch it quickly for all periods. I will show you the difference. For example, if we will now go to the reports, inventory and let's say inventory profitability, we will see here now profitability for each items, but we can filter only by the accounting period. So for example, we cannot filter from the 15th of December to the 27th of December if we would like to have this data range. It will not be as accessible for the users. But if we will come back to our settings here, and we will change this option only to financials and save now, refresh this button, refresh this report, we see that again we have here calendar dates filter, which for some users is more beneficial. What you need to understand is the difference. You can have the reports filtered by accounting period, or you can have by calendar dates. Usually it presents the same information, sometimes it may not, and we receive a lot of questions why there are differences in the reports, whether they're supposed to display the same information. Okay. Now maybe a couple of remarks about the creation and changing the accounts. Creation a new account in NetSuite is very easy. You click on the new button here, and then you have the opportunity to choose a new account number, new account neighbor, to define the structure if necessary, to define account type, so how it will be displayed, the account on the financial statements, in which place exactly, and to define some further characteristics as well. If the account is already created, it's also very easy to change the account. You simply click the credit here, you can change the number, you can change the name. If there are no transactions on the account and the account is not system-generated account, you can delete the account as well. Now, a couple of more maybe remarks. Maybe one more thing. If you would like to do more changes at once for reporting chart of accounts, you can export the current chart of accounts, do the changes, and then import it again. Please be careful here, because it may impact significantly your financial reporting, but there is an option to do it, doing more changes at once and to do it more quickly. Okay, let's consider one more thing, how the accounts are assigned to NetSuite transactions. First, let's about some easy transactions, so posting journals. If you're posting the journals, so basically you choose an account where you would like to post this. If you are using, in some situations, you are using as well system-generated accounts, as we said previously, so the default setup within the systems. In some situations, when you're doing the sales, when you're creating sales or doing the purchases, the item records are telling the system how the transactions should be posted. For example, here under the item record, HP monitor, in this respect, you have the accounting tab, which is telling that the purchases of these items are debited to the cost of goods account, the sales on the invoices are credited to the 400 sales, and all the inventory transactions, so item receipts of fulfillment, are debited or credited to the inventory asset account. Okay, we already discussed the basic financial reports, but let's go quickly through them again. Basically, under the Reports tab, you have a lot of reports you can use, which are under the heading here. The most important for the financial user will be the financial report, with the income statement, with the balance sheet, with the cash flow statement, with the trial balance, chart of accounts we discussed as well. As well, you can find some other reports. For example, under the customer receivables, you can see here some aging reports and other reports as well, cost accounting. You have a lot of out-of-the-box standards reports you can hear, but what if you would like to display a report that's not here? The easiest solution is to find the closest standard report and to customize it. Let's discuss this a little bit further. For example, we would like to have the account receivables aging report, including the departments. So here on our screen we have account receivables standard aging report. If we now go, we see that there's no option here to expand the columns, whatever. So if we click now the Customize button here, we see various options we can do with this report. For example, you would like to add one field. So we are finding the department field on the list here. It's exactly this field here. We are adding this to the report, moving to the place you would like to have it here. Now we can change the filters for the report. For example, if we would like only to display the data for one department, we can sort the report by the order we would like to display the data. And we can also restrict the access to the report for various users or roles. Before saving, we can all the time preview the report and see whether the report is good information. We'll discuss the department briefly in a sec, but we see that for some situations the department sales, the department services account. For some situations, no department is account, and we will discuss in a sec how you can prohibit the situations no department assigned for financial transactions. Okay, so now we will come quickly to the managerial reporting and classifications in NetSuite. Basically, there are various dimensions you can use to dice and slice your information. For example, very useful are departments. Departments within the system you can find under the setup, company, departments. Departments are basically used to differentiate information across internal company structure. There are different names used in different companies. For example, you can use names, teams, divisions, line of business. Usually departments are used as a cost of centers or revenue centers for a lower level reporting, or for investment centers if there are further investment decisions made for the particular department. As you can see in NetSuite, you can also have the hierarchy under departments. As you have the purchase contract department under the procurement department, which help you to streamline the processes even further. How you can use a department? It's very easily, because you can, for example, open your standard income statement. And now by expanding this column button here, you would like maybe to display the information by the department. You click the department here, refresh. And then you have for each department you have a separate income statement here, which you can analyze further, which you may use for your budgeting, etc., etc. Apart from departments, you have other information in NetSuite. You can have the classes, which are basically used for showing different types of sales, for showing sales channels and other revenue characteristics. You have locations, which are usually considered physical places when you store some assets, so for example by offices, branches, all also can be used with hierarchies here to mimic the complex business structure. We spoke a little bit about the report customization. A lot of options you can do in NetSuite, but if from whatever reason you would like to pull the data out of the system, because maybe your previous legacy system, you have a nice tool in Excel used in the past and you would like to continue using it, you can as well use it using NetSuite. For example, if you are creating a very simple queries in the system. So if you go to reports, you will click here New Search. Here you have the various record types, which represent the various information area in NetSuite, which you can use. Especially interesting for the finance is the transaction. This record represents all the transactions within NetSuite. Remember, it will represent all financial or non-posting transactions as well. In the criteria, you can set whatever data you would like to look for. For example, we would like to use only the financial data from this year. So we'll filter from the 1st of December 2016 here until the end of December the same year. Now, in the results tab, you have all the columns which will be enclosed in the report. Remember, they represent financial and non-financial information. So very beneficial will be to include here a posting tab, posting column, which will basically say which transactions are posted to the general ledger and which not. Having all this information here, you can submit the report, which will display the data out of the screen, on your screen here. And you can export the data to Excel as well in order to have it within the system. When the data are exported to Excel, give a little bit sec, you see there's a lot of data on the screen. Okay, we can open the report, which is presented here, enable changes, because we will play this a little bit with this report. And now we have all the data here in one place. We can very easily manipulate the data as well, create, for example, pivot tables if required. For example, let's say we would like to display all the transactions by the account. So we will move account, we will move amount. This review will also need to include here postings in filter, to include also only the posting transactions. And now, what we can say here, for example, maybe we would like to reconcile the data with NetSuite to be sure we have the same information within the system. For example, the sales, we have 7.6 million here. If we will go back to the system, and now we will review, the report we created, we have exactly the same data, 7.6 million. We can come back to the report, we can use the data any further. Please have in mind, with NetSuite, you don't really want to use it because the same analytical tools you have within the system. And it's far more flexible to use the system for it than to export it to Excel. You have also up-to-date information here, so you don't need to worry that some new transactions have been posted a minute ago, hour ago, whatever, as you are doing all the data transformation in Excel. All it's here, you can use it here, but there's also an option. If you want to export it to Excel for whatever reason, you can do it. It's not a problem with this. Okay, good. What I would like to discuss next are various audit features. You come back to the dashboard. You have within the system. Very regularly, we receive information from our customers. They do not know what have been changed within the systems, who did the change, what changed exactly, and why the data has been changed. They ask us all the same question, and the system itself gives you a lot of opportunities to do the checks by yourself and to have the full control over the changes and over the audit trials they let in the system. For example, what I would like to show you first are the system notes. It's a very powerful feature of the system. For example, if we will go again to our customer AB Supplies, we can review very quickly when this customer was created, what values has been assigned to this customer, whether some changes has been done. In order to do it, we go to the system information. Now we go to system notes here. The system nodes field here. And we see that the record, this customer, was created on the 12th of December 2016 by the employee A-Wald. It was created by the context user interface, so it was clicked by the user. It can be created by the CSV file, it can be created by the automatic system setup, but all the information are here available for you. Basically, the customer was created under the name AB Supplies. The sales rep was assigned to A-Wald as well. We have also the credit limit check. This is the initial setup. If later in time some changes have been made, the system will record this as well. For example, here in the change, we see that the payment terms has been changed from net 30 to net 15 days. We see the sales rep has been changed, and the credit limit has been increased for this customer 3 times, which is a lot. All the information is available for you. You can review it very quickly. If there is a mistake done, for example, we change information, you are sure who did this, and you can change to the previous value very easily. The same, as we can say shortly, will be available for the transactions. If we go for the sales, the transactions, we see there's one invoice, this customer. If we will review again the system nodes here, there are a little bit more values here. We see when the record was created, again on the 12th of December, by who, what values has been assigned to the particular value, what customer, what sales word, what invoice number, what total for all the transaction on the invoice. And again, if some changes has been made here, it's also recorded. We see, for example, that the total has been changed from 150 to 150.25. Whatever, we can also review here the general ledger impact of the change. If we are open here, those two screens, we will see the impact before the change, 150, on our accounts, and also after the change. Moreover, we can also see the change on a particular item number. If there will be more items here, we can see how exactly they have been changed by using the history button here. Here, we have the line level system nodes. So we see again that the rates have been changed from 300 to 305, which creates the total difference we reviewed earlier from 150, from 1,500 to 1,525. Everything is visible here. There's no mystery. You can find everything within the system. The system basically is holding all the information for you. You can also use safe searches to look for more information, etc., etc. There's no problem for using the audit nodes. Everything is held within the system. The system nodes are only deleted if the underlying transactions are deleted. If the transaction is in the system nodes will tell you exactly how it was created, when it was created, by who it was created as well. What I wanted to show you as well, the GL audit numbering report, because a lot of users are also asking us questions whether there is a specific audit report in NetSuite. Yes, there is a couple of reports you can use, the basic financial reports, but also there's a GL audit numbering report here. The report basically presents all the transactions within the financial year in gapless numbering order, the sequence you have here. So basically, you are sure all deleted voided transactions are in one place. Everything is here. You can print the report, present to your auditors. There's also perfect auditability of the system as well. Okay. Now I will go quickly to the year-end closure. The year-end closure in NetSuite can be found quickly under the accounting and manage accounting periods. Here, under using the period you would like to close, let's say we'll use for quick January, and click on the button here, you can have a checklist. So all the transactions according to NetSuite, all the steps according to NetSuite you need to follow in order to close the period successfully. I will only briefly tell what is here because in 2 days' time we have another demonstration which is specifically designed to go through all the period close processes. It will be all the time about it. So basically, in order to close the period in NetSuite, to close the year, you need to close all the previous periods. So if we go to the list again, we see we are now in the position to close the year in 16 because all the previous periods within the system are already closed. And to do it, we need to go and close one by one every task here on the list. Many tasks here will present the link to the transactions, to do some negative inventory evaluation. Here we have the resolve date period mismatches, which we mentioned briefly before, when you posted some transaction, for example, on the 1st of December with the accounting period in January. So basically you're going one by the list here. You're performing some tasks, because remember, it's not only going to the list here, but also opening various reports. For example, if you would like to close the account receivables, you need to review the account receivables report as well in order to do it. For payables, you need to review all the bills, etc., etc. So if you want to hear more about the year-end closure, in 2 days there is a whole demonstration only for this one purpose. Okay. What I wanted to tell you a little bit more, maybe without demonstration, but also NetSuite enables you also to automation various other processes. If you're using different financial currencies, so for example you're using dollars, you're using pounds, whatever, NetSuite enables you to automate using the FX rates. So it's daily, automatically, it's downloading the dates and it's using for financial transaction. You don't need to upload it anytime manually, based with the formats, etc. It's not required. If you have a complex business structure with many subsidiaries, you can use NetSuite one word. Basically, the system automatically will create for you the intercompany elimination balance journals. For balance sheet, for profit and loss, you don't need to post them manually. It will create automatically the translation but for different currency subsidiaries. What's more, if you have complex sales transaction, for example, software, and your revenue recognition differs from the billing, also you can use advanced revenue within the NetSuite, which will also streamline the process further. Within your complex business structure, for example, if you need to do the reporting, for example, for a parent company in pounds, for example, under the IFRSs, but for example in euros for Germany GAAP, you can also use the multi-book feature within the NetSuite, which enables you to create for one subsidiary multiple books. So to present the same transaction slightly differently according to the specific rules which are under this gap you are using for your reporting. Now we will come quickly to the final remarks we have here, because this was about solving of the problems. What else you have in NetSuite in case you have problems? You have a lot of training videos. You have seed answers, which are giving you a lot of options to expand on the problems you have and to find the solutions. But you can also use us, Nolan Business Solutions. We have a support team which is dealing with our customer queries and problems, especially during the year-end closure. We have the consultants who are dealing with unstandard problems and more time-consuming things. As well, we have a very good development team which may help to automate and streamline your processes even further. As we run a little bit out of time now, so if you have any questions, please feel free to send to the email address you have on your screen now, and we are more than happy to answer it. Thank you a lot for your attention and taking part in this webinar. As you have questions, please send us to us. I hope we'll hear from you in future. Thank you. Bye.